Hi, my name is Sam Deegan. I'm here actually with Lindsay. She is an organic content expert. And Lindsay, if you just want to take a second to kind of introduce yourself a little bit.
Absolutely. Yes, my name is Lindsay York. I'm the community manager for GroupTrack CRM. It's first and only CRM that is fully integrated into your social media, so it lives on top of your social media where your clients do. So obviously that's what we want. We don't want you having to leave and go back and forth between systems, so we help you find and convert and retain your clients on social media.
Okay, so you live and breathe organic marketing, content marketing all the time. And this is specifically within the context of Facebook mostly.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Now, you're kind of, would you say that you're an expert with both organic posting on your profile and the group?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There's so much value in Facebook groups. If you took everybody on Facebook and made it a country, it would be the largest country in the world.
So I kind of want to talk about how we could utilize these strategies. Let's say that if I was launching a Go High Level SaaS, right? How would we kind of go about really starting to build an audience, and what's the most effective way to do that? And so I guess the first question that I would have for you is do you recommend starting a group immediately and then inviting all your friends to that, or do you recommend posting on your your profile first, and kind of what is your recommended strategy for at least first getting started? You know?
I mean, the answer is yes.
Okay.
Kind of.
All right.
Facebook communities are the number one way to nurture people. So many, we see so many businesses trying to move to different, community hosting platforms and things like that, where you can have, chats and all this stuff. Everybody's on Facebook. Everybody's there anyway. You're constantly on your phone or at your computer, and you've got Facebook up there. So it makes sense if you're going to have a community, if you want to nurture people, from client to customer or whatever that looks like for your business, it makes sense to do that within a Facebook community. There's so much that you can do within that. So whether it's, posting on your personal profile, in other people's groups, events, places like that, interacting with people there, that you can move them into your community where you get to move them through your process of converting someone from A to Z. That's the number one way.
Okay, so by your own estimation then, you would say that, let's say I'm nobody, okay? I have high level, I have an idea of a niche, right?
Yeah.
So now I have a product, but I want to start selling, but I don't have the money to blast into paid ads. Your recommendation is start a Facebook group, and that's be the easiest way to actually get organic sales, you would say.
Absolutely. There's so much room for communication and nurturing that way that is sometimes missed on a Facebook page. We always like to say that your Facebook page is kind of like your billboard. It's your sign outside your store, and you're waving and you're saying, hey, I got a store, I've got something here, this is what I do. It's so cool. The community is where you welcome them inside the store, and you get to say hey, what are you looking for? What are you here for? Are you here to buy some shoes? Let me show you the shoe section. Oh, you're here for shirts. Let me take you over to the shirts. So there's so much personalization that can happen in a community that you can't get with a page.
So I'm nobody, okay?
That's not true.
let's say I'm nobody, all right? And I've no followers, nobody in my niche that I want to target knows my name or knows who I am, right? How do I go about starting a Facebook group and really starting to get people in there, and not I guess we'll start with that first part.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, with any business, you have a problem that you're solving. So if you have a problem that you're solving, there's people that have that problem. So what we always try to coach on, and we have some great coaching within GroupTrack as well, is, we have to first identify what is the problem that I solve, what does my offer solve, who has that problem, and then where are they? And then you go to where they are, and you start connecting with them. So going into other groups, going into, comments on other business pages, and seeing what are the pain points that these people have, what are their words that they're saying to describe this problem, and then organically connecting with them to nurture that relationship, invite them into your community.
Okay. And so my next question is so what's happening in a community? Because, I feel like a lot of people want to go straight for the sale, right? But insofar as I can tell, it's important in order to keep a community alive and something that actually remains to be, a place where you can make sales, is that it has to be more than just another sales page. You want it to be an actual community.
Absolutely.
And I was wondering if you could speak to that, like,
Yeah.
what kind of posts should be on there, and how can you facilitate like the health and the growth of a community where people are actually interacting and it doesn't just die.
Yeah, no, so one of the things that we found with Group Track is that we thought people had a strategy for doing that when we launched our tool, and what we found is that they really don't. So we give you now our full strategy for taking people from new group member all the way to paying client, but within that there are so many steps along the way to nurture them. So, things like having a welcome post that lays out clearly the expectations of what's going to happen in that group, what you're providing, what they're going to get from being there, how they can connect with you, sending a welcome DM, hey, thanks for joining my group, telling them what group they joined, because, I don't know, I'm in like millions of groups, I don't remember half of them, so when somebody says, thanks for joining my group with the name of it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I did join that one, that's cool. And then you have content in that group that, typically relates back to what are the core things that you're selling, what is the core problems that you're solving with whatever your product or service is. So being able to uncover what are the pain points that the people that come into your group have, connect them with that content in your group. What are the big things that you help people do? And then follow up, and then follow up for the sale. That's
absolutely.
It's process.
I want to just take a quick step back because we were talking about actually getting people into the group, and we kind of skirted over the detail of that. And I just want to take a second to actually flesh that out a little bit. We were having a conversation right before we started recording here, where you kind of recommend, obviously, just like you said, right, joining other groups, finding these people who have the problem that your product is positioned to be the solution to, and ultimately one thing is you can cold DM, right? And I actually want to start with what are all the ways that you shouldn't DM?
Oh, I love getting cold DMs. It's like my most favorite thing because it's an automatic like, oh, you're going to sell me something, I'll try to sell you something back. But that's typically when I get a cold DM, my response is always like, hey, I noticed you're using social media to sell your service or product. How's that going for you? But yeah, so many people just want to jump right in like, hey, do you need help? Do you want to buy my thing? Here's my link. Can we get on a call? And I'm like, I don't even know you. How do you know that I have a problem you can solve? I don't even know what you do. So it is a bit of a process, like with anything. And like I said earlier, you wouldn't go up to a girl and say, hey, you're cute. You want to get married?
Yeah, right.
It's a process. And it's the same with marketing, which I know some people tend to, like, I don't have time for that. I just need my VA to shoot messages off and get leads and book sales, book calls. But it is a process when we're talking about social media. People are there on social media to connect with other people. So we have to remember that.
Absolutely. And, you're also talking from experience because that's kind of what your platform does, right? It allows people to kind of facilitate those conversations. So after working with so many people, right, you're speaking from, like, experience almost, like,
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, going straight for the pitch does not work.
Yes.
So now let's talk about like the proper way to do it, right? We had talked a little bit earlier about you want to actually start a real conversation with somebody and kind of then nurture that ultimately not into a push to close necessarily, but really more of an invite to the Facebook group if it sounds like perhaps the problem that the group is supposed to solve is a problem that they have. Is that what you would say? Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess it does also bring up the question of the group positioning, right?
Yeah.
You had spoken a second ago, I don't think you had mentioned it yet in this conversation, but in a previous conversation that we were having, you were talking about how like naming your group is even important.
So important.
And can you like talk a little bit about naming your group?
Absolutely. So if the name of my group is Lindsay's VIP customers, if you're like looking at that, what would you think?
I wouldn't join it.
No.
Yeah, definitely not.
Because you're like, I don't know if I belong there. So you want it to be searchable, Googleable. We want to name our group in a way that people can open up Facebook, go to search, type in the problem that they have or who they are or what they're doing, what profession they have, and be able to say like, oh, cool, there's a group that looks like I should be in there because it looks like they're going to help me.
So there's two things that you just said, right? You said that the group could be like, the group name could correspond to who these people are. So like, home cleaners, right? But it could also be to a particular problem.
Right.
Is there a better way of doing it? Is it like, is there one that works better than the other, starting with the problem or starting with the actual identity?
We just always recommend doing both. Whatever, I'm not great at like the catchy creative wording with it, but things like this group of people solving this problem. We were just renaming a friends group earlier, and it was high-level playbook for coaches and course creators. So
or like
people who need training and they're coaches and course creators. So you can look at that and say, oh, I'm a business coach. I'm using high level. I should join that group because I'm going to get some training.
Right, or like home cleaner, like income accelerator, right. or something along those lines.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. And so, like, let's go back into the content of the group and what that ultimately looks like. Are there like post types that you recommend? Obviously this isn't a format where we can go into every single step of it. I'm not expecting that, but like just a general overview of like the type of content that actually does promote and nurture a community. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. So Facebook loves Facebook. We're going to be real about that.
Okay.
So anytime we use the native things that they build in for posting, like polls, their backgrounds, all their fancy things, they love that. So the algorithm's going to promote those over other things. As far as content and what to post, we always love recommending making those posts that are going to get your ideal client to raise their hand and self-identify, because that's what you want. You want them to say, oh, I have that problem. So, who wants my guide to, our best one in our group? Who wants our chat templates that helped us convert 56,000 in one weekend? Everybody's going to raise their hand and say, heck yeah, I want to sell that much. I want to know what you put in that chat template, what you message people to help you sell that much. So anytime you can get people to raise their hand, self-identify, yes, I have that problem, I'm that person, that's the best.
Okay, so it sounds like freebies then is going to be like, which is kind of like a lead magnet.
Exactly.
And obviously, if they raise their hand, we're DMing them, and then you can start pitching them from there and stuff like that.
Or even better than that, you can start a conversation with them.
Yeah,
before you
exactly.
just straight up send them.
Exactly.
Do not send them your link. Send them questions. Get to know them. What is their problem? Tell me more about what you're struggling with.
Right.
Tell me how that's been going for you. What have you tried?
Perhaps a call to action to a call, right?
Absolutely.
To have a kind of a face-to-face conversation,
Yes.
instead of a straight pitch. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But what do you think about how do you incentivize people to also organically post themselves, right? If we go to the high-level community specifically, one of the things that's really amazing with the high-level community is that there's people who are posting, right? And so this community is very alive. It's not something like they're just giving freebies away all the time in order to keep it from dying.
Right.
And it's not just a monetization vehicle.
Right.
The value of the community is the community itself, and that is actually a feature of high-level. So, do you have any tips around how to create how to nurture a community so that people are actually organically posting in there, helping each other out?
Absolutely, yeah. That's, I do, obviously I'm the community manager for Group Track, but I've done that for other clients as well in the past. And some are obviously better than others. The best groups that get the best results are when that CEO, the owner, whatever business owner is showing up and providing value and content in that group and encouraging those things. Tell me about a time when this happened to you. Share your worst, experience with whatever. But they're showing up and they're providing that training and they're going live. They're in front of the audience. They're not just auto-posting, putting something on a scheduler that auto-posts, there's no engagement. So you have to show up and communicate and engage with your people, whether that's posting comments, responding back to comments. It's so much.
I've also heard that doing live streams and stuff in the group is also really good.
Definitely.
And I was just thinking that, if you were to kind of interview once a week the person who's helped out the most of the other people, right, and give them status within that group and recognition.
Yes.
That's certainly a great way to do it.
We do that every Thursday in Group Track. We go live for training, and we try to interview or have some of our clients on there who are getting some great results or using it in a unique way. Tomorrow or this week, we've got our one of our clients. She works with Jasper AI, so AI writing tools. She created over 70,000 messenger variations in our tool to be able to send. So she's going to come on and share how she uses Group Checklist Jasper to create message variations. So anytime you can highlight members of your community that are doing amazing things like that, so much value.
And I just totally thought of something that might be really useful.
Yeah.
What if you were to give, instead of having freebies that are they provide value, but it's not your product, right? You could give free copies of your product away to the people like every 2 weeks or something, the person who is participating the most, right?
Definitely.
And then kind of creating a space for people to ask questions when they, want things answered in their business.
Yes.
And I think that modeling after high level in that way is really a fantastic way to go about it. And so ultimately, right, we want to create a community that people actually go to, right?
Yes.
For me, I go to the high level community all the time. Because it is in a live group, right? So if we mix that, we're actively promoting that on top of, also putting freebies in there, right? Get into the book calls and have conversations. You kind of start to create a sales machine. Now, how long do you think that it would take, right, to kind of get an ROI on from organic posting, and in particular the group posting and growing a group?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a firm number in my head right now, but if you're doing it right, it's not a long drawn out process. We hear that so much. People are like, I don't have time to nurture and whatever, I just want to make a sale. But I welcome people into our community. I send the welcome message. I follow up. What are you looking for help with? Here's the things that we do. Do you want me to tag you in a training? Do you want me to send you something? And that, I mean, goodness, it's days at the most. It's not a long process. And I will say, the amazing thing that I really love is you can have a great community, you can provide amazing engagement and support in your community, but if you don't have a way to track the people that are going through that, you're losing so much as far as dollars and ROI is concerned, because you can't see where are they in this process. Maybe I tagged them, maybe I sent them a lead magnet. I don't remember what I sent this person. I don't remember when the last time I messaged them or connected with them was. My messenger's a mess. Having a way to track that and organize it that's just cherry on top.
So you would say, would you say that this kind of group strategy is something that's viable for someone who's just started? Let's say, listen, I have like a few months runway of paying for the SaaS subscription. Okay, I've heard online. I saw Dominic Baptist videos. Like, I'm thinking I can make a lot of money with SaaS.
Of course.
Do we think that this is a strategy that somebody should pursue up front?
Absolutely. We have people that come to Group Track that have no group, and some that don't even want to use a group, and just whatever. Some that are brand new starting out. We've got groups of 500,000 or more that we're tracking through there, that our clients are tracking. So we really focus over the quality more than the quantity. So you can build an amazing group from scratch and see results right away. We had one client in our coaching program that told us last week she just started renaming the guides in her Facebook group that she will put her content in. She didn't even put content in them yet. Just started renaming the guides. New group members showed up. That looks amazing. I don't know what you're building, but I want to join your program. What is it? How much does it cost? So, I mean, new people, brand new, that's such an amazing way to really start from scratch exactly what you want, the right people, the right place. So yeah, start from the beginning.
Now, do you think so obviously as you're friend requesting people and cold DMing them, not pitching them, but having a conversation with them, you should probably be also posting on your profile too,
Absolutely.
right? Because now you have friends who are going to be seeing your posts in the timeline.
Yes.
Okay. And do you think that, this is like a small detail, but I'm curious, do you think that all of the same kind of posts that I put on my profile, I should also be posting into the Facebook group itself as well?
You sure can, yeah. What we find is, on your personal profile, you know what you do, and we tend to assume that everybody else knows, I have a business, I do this thing, if they want to buy from me, they'll come and tell me. People don't know, they forget, they're not paying attention, you're not showing up in their feed, so we have to remind people, this is what I do, these are the people I help. Hey, I've got a group to help, SaaS owners learn how to move to 10K months, whatever that looks like. So we have to be consistently reminding people what we do, relating your posts back. I mean, I'm constantly so glad I can sit here on my phone at the gym watching my kid play basketball, getting a little work done. So anything you do, you can relate it back.
I want to end this interview with a controversial question. What are your thoughts on the @everyone tag?
Oh my goodness. I think if you have a group that you have created an amazing engagement strategy, it's unnecessary.
Okay. But then if it's not so good, have you seen that it leads to a lot of people leaving the group?
We have seen a lot of people leaving. I don't really mind it. I've remembered that I'm in a lot of groups that I forgot I was in because I'm like, oh, why did they tag me? Oh, it's at everyone. Oh, I didn't know I was in there. So, I mean, I think it's personal preference for one. Some people hate being tagged. Other people don't mind at all. I view it as an opportunity to go sell them group track. I'm like, hey, you wouldn't have to use that everyone tag if you had a great strategy in your group. So
amazing.
Yes.
Well, if you would like to take a second and talk about what group chat does, I'd love to have you do that.
Yeah, so Group Track, like I said, is the first and only socially integrated CRM. It fully lives where your clients are on social media, so you can track them through every stage of the process from, just met you all the way to rating fan, customer, client, whatever that looks like, right where you are, so you're not having to leave and go to a separate system, keep track of people on spreadsheets or whatever else you were doing, post-it notes all over your desk. We built it so it lives right there where you are, where you're working all day, where your clients are showing up all day, so you can easily track them through that process, organize them, organize your messenger inbox, and keep track of what you're doing to move people to a sale.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
It was fantastic.
So nice to meet you.
It was absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.